All right, so 2023 is almost over, 2024 is looming on the horizon, and Christmas is now officially over, and more than likely, you've got a bunch of games for the holiday. And that also means that your backlog has just increased quite a bit, potentially. I know I made out pretty well this year, thanks to my family. Got about 5 new games that I'm excited to try out. But as many of you might know, I talk a lot about the fact that I just have so little time to game for fun, to conquer that backlog, to really take hold of it. And I have so many games to play, so many that I want to play. How the heck do I cover it all? And it's something I found myself really thinking about as the year has gotten to a close. It's something I want to try to fix. I want to try to game more and find a way to play things I haven't in the past. And there's a lot out there. I have a pretty sizable collection and well over 300 games I own but have never beaten. And a lot of those I've never even touched. Like I just got them, but I haven't had time to play them. Like just offhand, recently, I collected a few just to go off of, for example, Bravely Second. I picked up Bravely Second. I haven't even beaten the original Bravely Default. I played Bravely Default, but I never got around to Bravely Second. Same sort of thing. Some of these are for collection purposes, just because I know they'll become hard to find. Case in point, Dragon Quest V on DS. I know it's considered one of the best RPGs of all time. I want to get around to it, just haven't. So yeah, there's a lot of those types of games where you have them, but how do you find the time to play them? Because you have work, you have family, you have innumerable amount of things going on that you want to try to keep up with. And it's all about really just taking it one step at a time. And key thing above all else, don't stress. Yes, you have a lot of games. Yes, there's a lot to play. Yes, you feel bad about getting something new when you already have something old to play, but it's the thing is, it's all right. It's your choice. You have time to play it when you find the time to play it, when you want to play it. And that's sort of the thing I've started reminding myself. This is my games, and I do want to play them, and I will play them at some point. And what is the best way to go about this? What am I going to be doing going into the new year? And this can apply to this year, next year, how many years in the future? How do you want to conquer these games and really take on your backlog? Well, the first thing that I did, and that I would recommend doing, and I need to redo because I'm horribly out of date, catalog your games. Take a look at every single game you own, whether it's for old systems, new systems, digitally, whatever. Take a look at all the games you own and really look at them. It's basically just a chance to familiarize yourself with your releases. Because if you're anything like me and you have your games on the shelf, it's just the spine sticking out and you recognize them, but you don't necessarily consider them. But by going through your games, cataloging it, it really makes certain games stick out where you see certain ones you'll be like, oh, I wish I could play that. Oh, I wish I had time to play that. I think it really does put it in the mindset of what you want to play. And it also has the bonus effect of, hey, I have this game. Have I beaten it before? No, let me keep that one in mind. I have not beaten that one. So let's come back to it and beat it another time. Or attempt to beat it this year or sometime soon. And I think that is a key point, is just recognizing what you want to beat, what you're able to beat, and see basically a game plan. Not a firm game plan whatsoever, but an idea of like maybe keeping some out for like, oh, I want to try this out, or oh, I want to try this, or you know what? I only gave this a slight chance, but everybody talks about how good it is. Let me give it a full shot this time around. That sort of idea. I think that is absolutely step one. Catalog your games, whether you use a Google Sheets or Backloggery or whatever you have, whatever is most convenient to you to find a way to just look at your games. And next up, what I would recommend doing is prioritize games from recent years, because I find for myself at least that those are the games that nag at you the most. And I have some examples here of games that I had gotten recently or relatively recently that I've still not touched. So some of these games I got at the launch of the PlayStation 5 when I got the PlayStation 5, or I got them for last Christmas and I still have not played them. Demon Souls, got it at launch, not touched it. Ghost of Tsushima, got it at launch, have not touched it. Spider-Man Miles Morales, got it at launch, did not touch it. It's also why I don't have Spider-Man 2 yet, because I might as well wait. Horizon Forbidden West, played a little bit of it, got distracted by other big releases and have not gone back to it. And then Elden Ring, big game of last year, haven't even taken it out of the wrapping because I figure I might as well wait just to remind myself, give me that pain of like, oh God, why have I not played that yet? Same thing for Tales of Arise. It's just one of those things, like, these are all recent games that I got last year just for Christmas. Most of them anyway. Other ones I played a little bit of and just need to get back to finish. So let me go ahead and grab those. So 2 big examples for me. Tears of the Kingdom. Put 90 hours into this game but have not beaten it. Doesn't mean I don't want to put a bunch more in. I just haven't gotten around to it. And then Dragon Quest Treasures. Played about the first 5 hours or so. Liked what I played, just didn't get back to it because I got distracted by other things. And so that's sort of the idea for me. Is like, I feel like those nag at me more because I got them for a holiday. I got them for a birthday. I got them just because I wanted to get them, and yet I did not play them. Doesn't always happen. Like, I picked up Resident Evil 4. I've beaten Resident Evil 4. But it does. And Tears of the Kingdom is a great example. I'm actually making a point to work through Final Fantasy 16 right now because I enjoyed what I played and I want to get back to it. I want to play that game. I want to see what it has to offer. I just have that interest. So I would recommend prioritizing the games from recent years. What sticks out recently that you already own that you want to play, that you don't feel so out of the loop of, or like, why am I playing this sort of idea, like the truly old games. That being said, special rule number 3, there's always new releases. There's always games coming out, temptations for you to pick up, and certain games you will not be able to resist. So don't worry about it. Leave that room open for the new releases. And I would highly recommend limiting what new releases you want. Look at what's coming out, look at the reviews and say, do I want to play this right away? Do I need to play this right away and just be in the conversation or see what happens and focus on those? For me, that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I need to play that game when it comes out. I cannot miss it. Am I interested in other games? Of course. Of course I am. I'd love to try out Tekken 8 or the Grand Blue Fantasy games, even though I never played it before. It just looks gorgeous. And the myriad of other games coming out in just this early year. The Another Code re-release. I'd love to check that out. But will I get to it right away? That's what you got to ask yourself. Do I need to play this right away in order to enjoy it, or can I give it a little bit of time? And consider whether or not the game might become hard to find later on, and that might also influence your decision. But otherwise, I think as long as you leave some room and really decide what games you want to play when, that you can sort of build your sort of game time around that. So for my example, once again, I'm focusing on Final Fantasy 16 because Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is coming out. I still have the extra portion of Final Fantasy VII Intergrade to play a Yuffie story. I need to play that before getting to Rebirth because it's just that. I feel like it's that important. But it's one of those things where, yeah, I never finished Yuffie's story, but that doesn't make me any less excited for Rebirth. So yeah, I want to clear time for it to really enjoy what it has to offer. So yeah, absolutely. Whatever that game might be, whatever new game's coming out that you really feel like you need to play right away, leave room for it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress if you have to take a little bit of time from working on that backlog to play something new. It's fine. Don't stress. Again, that's the overarching theme about this one, is just don't stress. But in regards to some of your old games, let's say you're playing them and it's just not clicking. Don't feel compelled to beat them. You gave it a shot. Give it your 5, 10, however many hours you feel comfortable. And let's say you're playing this game and you're just not clicking with it. Don't worry about it. Again, don't stress. It wasn't for you. You gave it a shot. Put it aside to maybe come back to later, but otherwise consider it not part of your backlog anymore. And I think that will all immediately relieve some of that tension of, God, why do I have so much to play? What is going on here? So yeah, do not feel compelled to beat them whatsoever. Just play what you feel comfortable with. whether that's the entire game or maybe not to completion, as far as like, let's say Zelda, like not getting all the shrines or whatever. You just want to beat the main game and that's all you want to see and you feel confident with that. That's fine. Or playing another game and you've played for 5 hours and you're like, this isn't for me. I'm going to stop. I don't want to not waste my time, but I don't want to put any more time into this game, and I would prefer to try something else out that I'm maybe more interested in. So I think that's important as well. Another idea to avoid burnout, as if you're trying to get through a backlog and specifically trying to focus on it, mix up the genres. Don't do the same genre all the time. Have a, you have plenty of options that you can try out as far as other games to play. Like I've wanted to try out Tales of Vesperia for a while. I got the definitive edition. Not really tried it. But you know what? After that, maybe I should switch it up and get an action game instead. So should I go for Dead Cells or Astral Chain? Either or. I've not beaten either, so I'd like to check them out. Or, just action to RPG. Or, you know what? Let's get a horror game in there. So let's play some Fatal Frame 2 for the first time. Why not? Or go for classics or older games, short games, long games. Just find a way to mix it up so you're not just like, all right, time to beat Final Fantasy 1. All right, that's done. Let's beat Final Fantasy 2. Okay, let's beat Final Fantasy 3. You'll get bogged down most times if you're just playing through the same series in the same way at all times. So mix up the genres. Just change it up as much as you can. And finally, and I think this is a much more important step than people might realize, reflect on each game that you play. Maybe make a post about it, whether it's on your Twitter or you have a fledgling YouTube or whatever. Talk about it. Get your thoughts out there. Chew the game a bit. Figure out what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and that could lead yourself to other ways. But it also sticks out in your mind more. It makes that game feel like you've accomplished something truly great with that. And it's something I want to try to do as well, maybe with my personal channel, because I used to do these things called backlog reviews. And one of the ones I did, and that was an old review of the original Dragon Quest on NES. And that game still sticks out in my mind. So finding some way to reflect on that game could really help it just feel more impactful to you if you care about that sort of thing. Another idea is sort of pulling off of my idea of the NSO Game Club. I have found by doing the Game Club that I'm much more invested in what comes to the NSO app. So what new game is out there? What new game can I get into the rotation to try out? So maybe make a game out of it. Maybe put all your games that you have, and if you truly feel you don't mind what you play when, use a randomizer. There's a bunch out there that you can use, and just put all your games in, spin that wheel, play what comes, and enjoy yourself. Just lose yourself in that game, however long that is, whether it's, compelled to beat it the whole way and find some new favorite, or it wasn't for me, as we talked about before. But I think making a game out of it can really take the tension away from, oh God, I got to beat this so I can beat this game so I can beat this game and have it just off my backlog. I think that's the big thing, because as I said, the massive overarching point of all this is don't stress. One of the common things, and I'm extremely guilty of this, is like, oh God, my backlog is so big. Oh God, how can I let this happen? Oh God, what should I do? It's just too much for me. And one of the things I'm going into with this new year is letting it go. Get to it when you get to it. Take each game as it comes. Try to not worry about the FOMO of this big new shiny game being played. You want to get to it eventually, but take it within your own time. Maybe it's right away. Maybe it's not. It does not matter. Eventually you'll play it. Eventually you'll get to enjoy it. And when you do, I think you'll enjoy it that much more, because now you're not stressing or feeling like I got to get through this thing as quick as possible so I can get to the next game. I think taking each game in stride makes much more sense. And yeah, that is my plan for going into conquering my backlog, or making a bit of a dent in it this year, to really take a look at what I have and work on it, beat it, take care of games I haven't played in the past, and really try to see what comes of it. And I don't know, maybe I'll make a journey of it this year again, and reflect on those games, whether on this channel or on my own, and talk about each game in turn. I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, because the games could be very esoteric or different or not current. It doesn't matter. It could just be all over the place. But if that's something people are interested in, I might give it a shot. I'm not sure. So yeah, I just wanted to get it out there because I know this is a very common thing for a lot of people of like just looking at all the games they have, all the games they have not played, and how am I going to do this, especially when there's so many big releases already coming. And I think just taking a little bit of time, working through it at your own pace and not stressing can really do a lot for you. So yeah, if you have any other tips for how you take on your backlog, I would love to see them in the comments below. So make sure to do that. And if you want to support Good Vibes Gaming even more, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/gvgaming. Otherwise, just subscribing to our channel, hitting that like button, everything else helps us a ton. And we look forward to the new year as we have plenty of games to talk about. New, old, whatever. We're there and we hope you'll be too. So until then, everyone, Happy New Year, and until next time, bye.